Dreamers naona nikistataja ndio baadaye tu. Tukiongeza volume.
Ongeza volume. Ongeza volume. Damn. Ongeza volume. Greetings, my favorite people. Welcome to the Ongeza Volume podcast, episode 29. Ayo. With me, your host, Abigail Diana. If this is your first time listening in, Ongeza Volume is a platform that loves and appreciates Kenyan creatives. We do like to connect the consumers and the creatives, helping out in discovery, reviews, curations, and playlisting. Now that we are up to date, we'll be dropping 2 episodes in a month unless a special occasion arises. That's why we were not able to drop an episode last week. It only makes sense so that the events can gather up and then we can just review a whole bunch of events that happens in the first half of the month and then the second half of the month. If that's okay with you guys, my bosses. In this episode, we'll be discussing events attended within the first half of February. And I want to give a special shout out to everybody who's listening from the US, South Africa, Uganda, Tanzania, UAE, and Spain. And obviously, shout out to my Kenyans. So we're going to dive right into it. On 1st of February, we were invited to a listening party by Mutoriah. That was the We Don't Need Money to Be Rich album listening party. It was held at the OneRPM offices. It was honestly my first time there. So I was really curious to see where OneRPM is situated and how their offices look like, just out of curiosity. OneRPM is a global music distribution and rights management company that works with independent artists and labels to get music onto streaming platforms, manage digital rights, and support artists in aspects involving release. I think we might have talked about this in one of the previous episodes. I arrived later than anticipated due to unavoidable circumstances, and I found that they had already started the listening. Bahati tulikuwa tumehata just the intro. As we got into the room, we were given a card that was the album art, and you know those to sign here's. People who worked in an office, you know those two sticky things zenye zinakuanga zimeandikwa sign here. So they were stuck on the card, I think like 3 of them, and they were redeemable vouchers for drinks in there, courtesy of Jägermeister that had partnered with OneRPM to facilitate the listening party, which is so cool. Walking in, we found seats to kaka, and people were attentively listening in silence. Kumbe, I sat next to Swiga, and she said hi. I saw some of the other familiar faces, some of them who were previous and current collaborators on that album. I saw Kina Erosh, I saw the Babas, I saw some members from Honsphere, I saw some guys from media. There was just a combination of a lot of people in the listening party. At the front, Mutoriah was seated next to a big poster of the album art. To his right, or to our left, was a spin the wheel game that would be used later in our show. After the title track played, nikaitwa late kama. Jamini Mutoriah. So we would listen to a song and then he would give more information on it or explain it before. Here's some sound bites from the listening party.
All those chats usually have bells that ring every time except Usiku. So the whole concept of this song was built on us having to tell ourselves, if we stay alive long enough to hear the church bells in the morning, that means it's a new beat. So that means it's another chance to try again. So that's what this one is all about. To pick up young. To pick awesome. To pick up young. Thank you very much. Pick next. Unasikia poa? Kenyan dreamers naona lakini sitataja nitawaseti baadaye tu. Tukiongeza volume. 90% of the time when I say we don't need money to be rich, someone will respond with something like, so you're saying we are not supposed to be happy? And I'm like, this is why we need to have this conversation, because that's not what I've said. And unfortunately, capitalism and our society has made us link those two things, happiness and richness and money. And I don't think it's enough pamoja. So we don't need money to be rich. It's not saying that money is not important, but it should not be your anchor. The reason on anchor, kila siku. And the reason I think that is because money it's a variable, and that means there can never be enough of it ever. So if it's your anchor, there's never a time you're gonna be like, okay, this is enough. Like, okay, sasa nataka kupata 10, nataka kupata mita. And I feel like that's the root of a lot of problems that we have in this country, because we've been taught to be hardworking and to be comfortable at all costs. The values and that's why people are politicians and but because you can't get enough of it. But come and say you're a politician for the sake of what a politician should do, which is build systems, approach to such a very different city and environment. So this one is basically saying, whatever you do, never do it for the money. The only way to be really happy is to so Ongeza volume. Inapita wengi hiyo. Yeah. So as I said, the songs I make are for me first. So what is the songs now patia hapa? What was supposed my friend?
No, naipenda.
Na sister yangu pale na opio tutakuwa tukizijam. Because obviously zitanibamba. Actually, that's how I ended up falling in love with music again. Because kuna time nilikuwa nimepotea. So the first client is myself. Ndio yani hata watu wasipofurahi mimi niko sawa, roho yangu iko sawa. Yeah. The next one is called Hit Song. Sorry? Uzuri watu wanafurahi. Correct. The favorite song to Amaline. So keep that in mind. Nikiendelea tu. Erosh sana sana. It's called Hit Song. It's about not caring about it. Again, written by the Babas, Rasamor, Matai, Rasamor, Baraza. The amazing duo, the next jam is called Hello Mama, and this one is based on, it's a story that I decided to tell, to document what I felt like I was going through. Tulikuwa tunaandamana huko hivyo town, and yeah, it's basically the kids I saw in the streets when walikuwa so ready kuenda kwa sababu yani wamechoka, they don't have another choice man, yani tuko mwisho kabisa. We dream of a better Kenya. Hope we're going to see it. Inshallah. See it. Yeah, it's actually a true story about me and Kirochi. This guy I had to cure some time back, and he was doing so bad. Yani, hakuni, anasema anamuona kila pahali. Anze kampeleka kwa daktari, alafu daktari kumwangalia kumpima, anasema huyu kijana wako si mgonjwa sana. Ile kitu imehappen ameacha. So wewe mpatie tu maji na encouragement. Atakuwa tu sawa, atakuwa the link is okay now. I have to translate for them. people in the audience. I don't call Motorigo. Sasa hii si already tunajua hii tucheza watu wengine. Hii siwezi ongelea sana. Hii ilikuwa Mr. Karikemani Jaba. Ndio nikaimba. Mimi nilidandia tu. Nilisikia ni ngoma kali, nikamwambia I made it look like I'm important and do good on this song, but really it's because it was a good song. So Hiroshi, ilikuwa kusuti? The Genesis.
The Genesis. It's just like a love song about trying to show your okay, mimi nasema first time. Ile love song. The first time. Najua ile tunasema love at first sight. Ndio unaanza kusort nyuma ya nini like that. So it's like a short story. A commentary on that kind of affection.
Okay, we want now we have like 3 songs to go. Kunyamaza kidogo tumalize alafu tukunyamaze. Tumalize. I want to Bora, which is an amazing artist from Uganda, called Joshua Baraka. The concept of the song was we were writing about a wife we've not met before, and apologizing that we've not met, but kusema kweli it's because we are working on ourselves. During that time tutapatana, and tutapata yani we have all the good qualities of a good husband. And this one is called Bora. Bora. Featuring the one and only BND Live in the building. Yeah, this jam is called Niamini, and it's a very interesting jam. It's about seeing your what's the word? Shortcomings in your predecessor, and seeing his shortcomings from his predecessor, and I think there's comfort in knowing what's coming in the future, but there's also this comfort in not wanting to repeat the mistakes. It's a very strange position to be in. Thank you very much. Siga, tunakueleza lyrics. Thank you guys for coming out. That's the album. Sahi tunafaa tukiwasema sewa waulize any question, any comment about the album. I think about the favorite song that I was in the kama mtashout tu alafu kitu gani? Watu wa decora. Sawa basi. The floor is open for the next lyrics. Yes, Lord. Hiyo peke yake. Hiyo ndio that's the whole song. Yes. Nimekubali. After tumepigana na Mungu tukiwa na hata tulisema sawa, umewin. Ukipita tena. We are not going to cut through the corners. We're just going to say yes. Actually, it was a running thing. I think I had to take up a video. Because there's always tukijikumbusha tunasema 1, 2, 3. Yes, Lord!
After we listened to all the songs on the project, Nya explained the spin the wheel game, where you would either choose between asking a question about the project or taking a shot and asking a question about the project.
Spin the wheel. If you have something that you want to ask Mutoriah, come spin the wheel. You can ask him wherever it lands. There are 4 songs, so you can ask him if it lands on day 1, ask him a question about day 1. If it lands on hit song, ask him a question about hit song. If it lands on Yega, what happens you later? Shot. Correct. If it lands on random question, you can ask him. How? Who wants to go first? Anybody?
We had some people participating in the game, Akina Saimo, John Gashui, etc.
You as a father, you get that story. The first one is about you being touring in Europe. Like, you've given us a full picture of your life as a Mutoriah, which I love. in terms of questions to recommendation. I feel like the song, the one for July, Maandamano Era, I feel like it needs a video. It can be completed nicely with a very powerful visual video. The one that was in mind, just for reference, not to say it's that, the Shinski's Hayawani. Something that can really translate the story and the chaos of it all and the emotions that were real for most of us who experienced Maandamano. I think it's a nice stamp in memory. We need as many remembrance pieces as we can for that era. So I think you're well on to have your voice in terms of memorability for that day. Question, the only noticeable collab is Erosh and the Babas. Clearly you are fans of both. Erosh way back, Babas are new to the game as the Babas. I've become a fan of them because you're a fan of them, by extension. So I wonder, was it intentional or him, of course, Braka? And Black, okay. My question was that. I was going to ask, a lot of the collaborations I noticed are in the production, the songwriting, more like behind the music, not for phrasing. I don't know if you are trying to put yourself out more as yourself. Because for me, the last album I remember is the first one, Live. The other one was an EP. Pressure. Is that what you were counting when you said 12 albums?
Happiness.
Oh, Happiness, okay. I really Peter. So the last one, the reference was Live. So with this album, were the collabs intentional? You were creating? When you come along the way organically in a jipa, you really were seeking out these people because you felt like they have a part in it.
Nitasemaje, I think nikikuwa marafiki na watu kwa cheza along itakuwa organic, and that's exactly what happened. So we made the songs organically, and then we decided zikuwe kwa album. So it was not unafanya ndio fans wow ama vice versa. It was because the song is good. I think that's what I've been basing my metrics of choosing the songs I put out. Like, do I like the song? Is it good? Do I have one line or do I have 50? Doesn't matter. Is the song good? Sawa. So that's exactly what happened. Come on, BT Black. How we came up with that song. BT atatuambia siku moja. Is it nakumbuka?
I think so.
I think you think so, yes.
I think that you come here a demo battle, then you come a demo battle too. Then you have to be from there.
Something very interesting about me and BT's relationship, we released the first song before we even ever met, because I was his fan and vice versa. So ya kwanza yenye tulifanya, which was a really good song that I love, is when they made us tumeshi kusema tutafanya, we're gonna do more, and I'm glad at least tumefanya one more. I hope tutaniweka kwa album yako. Ndio chambia watu kuna album natoka. Hope tutaniweka hapo.
The format of Samo where we give remarks, then in conclusion we ask the question. I love the choral vocal thing you have done. I think it has added such yummy depth to the music. My favorite song is Morima Wawanja. I love it because you've used rock as the underlying genre, and as it was playing, the only thing I could think of was, when is this song going to be live on stage? And how that instrumentation, like, it was beautiful. I think for me that arrangement is my favorite one. Thank you for Kavina, because now we had something to dance to. At some point I was like, wait, but it's also beautiful because I think when songs don't lend themselves immediately to dancing, you have so much more opportunity when you do the live show. And if you know me, I'm for life, so I'm looking forward to what you do with the Babas and everybody else for the live arrangements. I'm going to ask the question, where are the collabos with the babes? Because I feel like as a representative, no, I'm kidding. I feel like that could be an interesting thing. Not that you haven't ever, but I think that's maybe the one thing I was feeling like Yeah, like I'm looking forward to that. So that's the next album direction. So that's the question. Was that intentional or not? Yeah, and then the final, can I have one more comment? See, at my age now, I need my phone. Can you give me my phone? Niliandika notes so that I don't forget. The other comment. Oh yes, just a comment for your album Bible. Some of the lyrics are different from what you sang. I don't know if you know that, or it happened naturally in the studio. I don't think it's a bad thing. I just thought in case you weren't aware, let me say that. And then, yeah, I feel like I know you better. I know you better from this album. That was the last one. Thank you.
Unajua kutupa maneno matamu hapo. What was the question? Oh,
The babes.
Sema tu kweli tu yani. Tuseme tumemaliza kujitafuta sasa na kujitisha so and now I have a team. You know, I've been working alone for me. So sasa hivi naweza concentrate na muziki. Sasa nitatafuta
The mamas. Oh yeah, the mamas. The mamas. Yeah. With the babas.
It's not intentional. It's just tutafanya. Tumekuwa kusema tutafanya na tutafanya. Definitely. It's singing as well.
Thank you. Nimesikia. Deni ni ya kulipwa. Deni ni ya kulipwa.
Mimi sina shida na kulipa deni kama hizo. Unajua wewe threatening me with a good time. Alright.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Speak.
It's the melodies. They are very, very interesting melodies that are very intriguing. It reminds me of a time when music was being created because of the love of it and not necessarily to fit a certain niche. Yeah. So even as we're forming the mamas, actually the very emotional song, I think you were not able to talk about it. My voice was there. Yeah, so very proud of you, very proud of this album. I love it. I can't wait to hear it through and through. So my random question, when are you performing this album? Next. Yeah, that's the question.
Thank you very much, Swika, for that question. And I already kuketi mikoyo wangu. Oh, I think you know to makali damn. Oh, Swika helped me record the
Excerpt. The courtroom question.
Bas. In fact, wacha nitumie majina najua. She helped me record the interlude for Hello Mama. Thank you very much, by the way. Yes, and for those who don't know, I learned a lot of the skills I have for like performing from her. Until I am working with the movements. Sasa hii akili yangu inakuangaza. Nimesahau swali. Swali ilikuwa ni
Live show.
oh. We're gonna do a bit of it on 14th, which is Valentine's. But we're gonna find a bigger show. Take a shot.
Kunywa brufen.
Brufen na
Ama
shot.
kunywa brufen.
Okay. So I shout out a couple of people who made this album possible. Definitely the Babas who helped me write half the album, if not all of it. Wameingia kwa space fulani kwa maisha yangu ya kila wakati nikipiga simu, unasikiaje hiyo line hapa hivi? But I love it. I want to shout out Kevin Provoke, who is an amazing producer and graphics designer. Alitengenezea album arts, and Provoke has actually been there for a minute. Yeah, ndio pia alimix master diving. Some people that actually the people that tumekuwa na wao. I want to shout out Noor 44. Noor 44. Okay, so who kwanza? I want to shout out Noor 44. Okay, you don't expect. Let's do that one more time. I want to shout out Noor 44. Exactly. That's the company that has helped me put this together. Kama ingekuwa mimi manze ningekuja tu kwa nyumba yangu, ile soda nikapata kwa fridge na ingekuwa Sprite na ingekuwa Fanta. But they've made this really beautiful and amazing to my document. I've seen it be given some merchandise hapo. Like, to be serious. So shout out to Karen Maina, and everything to show who is seated over here. Also, shout out OneRPM. OneRPM is the company that has been distributing my music for the last couple of years. Bilha over there, alikuwa neighbor yangu, hata tulikuwa tunajua ati siku moja tutafanya kazi pamoja. And thank you so much for the support that you have given so far. Najua tutafanya hata zaidi. Cynthia. And Mutuma, thank you so much for making this possible. Ando, yani na feeling nimepata team yenyewe. Unajua vile mimi napenda kudream bila kuulizwa maswali. So kama tunataka kuenda kufanya tour USA na ndege, don't ask questions. Let's dream.
Yeah.
So niliwaambia I want a big clock on my Spotify counting down. I'm like, hey, but the master's like, no, me I want it. Okay. So we'll figure out how it's going to be done. And now Kaifana and many more things. So something. And last but not least, of course, all of you, because I say we come through sana. But I also want to shout out my family in absentia. And that, I think they have shaped this album in a way or two. One big family. And kusema hiyo kitu we don't need money to be rich. The small exercise that she made me do right after high school. Nilikuwa na this as you have had, I'm dreaming of big ideas. So I think aliona huo nikimwambia chenye unafikiria haiwezi haitawaka. So akanifanyisha exercise kidogo ya kwa like, okay, this is what you want. So if this is what you want, kesho nataka ukuje na list penye uko saizi, like where are you now? Okay, haya kesho ingine sasa nataka kuja na list ingine ya what can you access? So ukipiga simu, ukipiga hero, ukipiga baba, wengine unaweza sema okay, sasa nataka kuja na list ingine ya how much money it would cost to do whatever you want to do. Okay, and I want you to split this list and utoe 3/4 of that budget by a quarter. Because like, hey, it's not possible. No, it's possible. Nikaenda nikarudi na hiyo quarter. Anyway, that exercise made me realize, damn, kuna kwanga na limitations mingi toka kwa mimi. Kichwa na tunaweza vitu. Yeah, so shout out to them and my dad as well.
Mutoriah also appreciated his sister, Mutoriah, and gave her flowers. Oh my God, that was so cute.
And last kabisa, least ako hapa, my family, anaitwa Mutoriah Maora. This young lady, please come here because I want to give you your flowers.
Later on, there was an interactive session where people would take photos with Mutoriah. And I took this time to walk around the OneRPM offices. And something that intrigued me was this wall of quote-unquote fame where they would mount like photos of their artists who have been featured on like playlists on different distribution platforms on their walls. So as much as it's not up to date as I was told, it looks really, really nice. I think I would want such a thing in my house, but I don't know I don't know what criteria I would use to like print and mount. I'll think about it. But that was a really nice touch to their office. The moon was so bright outside. We decided to go somewhere and count down to the album dropping because it was dropping on 2nd. That was like at midnight, and this was like on 1st. Seeing the 3, 2, 1, and then the album dropping was such an incredible feeling. To make matters even better, where we were, the DJ understood the assignment. Aliona Mutoriah ako in the building na alikuwa anacheza tu Kenyan back to back. Alicheza For Lovers, akacheza Better, and then after midnight akacheza Day One. And this was so significant because the album had just dropped. Najua watu walikuwa wanashangaa nini mbaya na hawa say, but we were so happy. It was such a, unaona vile kwa composition tulikuwa tunaandikanga a day we'll never forget. Yeah, I think that goes in there. So stream, we don't need money to be rich. It's out on all platforms. And imagine in the first 1 week, the album already got 100,000 streams. That is so great. Just like I told you guys in the previous episode, I started the MWE challenge where I'm listening to one project every single day of February and posting about it. The videos, I'm not really consistent about them. Life happens. But on Twitter, I've been posting continuously. So you guys can go and check out what I've put out so far on our social media handles, Ongeza Volume, Ongeza_volume on all platforms. And you're going to find the reviews of the projects that I've listened to so far. And you can follow up on the journey. If you have some projects that you would like me to listen to and to review, please feel free to share them and we'll do so. On to the next event. On 3rd February, for Mr. Frank White, who's an artist, sent us a story by Tusker. And it read, "Be the judge. Choose the next 6. 4th February 2026 from 2 p.m. Limited slots available." Let me tell you, it's so vague. But I ended up like submitting and they chose me. So they sent the invite and it was happening at Tusker Microbrewery and the dress code was super stardom. And then the invite said, "Are you ready to shape the future of Kenyan music?" And I was like, yes. So shout out for Mr. Frank White for bringing that to our attention. And honestly, I went out of curiosity because I saw a video by BN on it. So even as I was inviting my +1, I didn't know how to explain what it was. I was just like, let's go and find out. And that's what we did. So on 4th February, all roads led to Wapi. Is said the EABL. And that was my first time in that side. Ndani though. So as you walk through the gates, there's heavy Tusker branding from the building to the teardrop banners. And at the entrance of the reception area, you are being received by 3 ladies who would check for your details on the guest list. And then they would tag you and give you vouchers for food, drinks, and a shandy, a beer shandy. Yo, we learn new things every day. So as you walk in, on the right side, there was an area where you could take photos from. It was a photo booth. And then the deco was really cool. There were these plastic slippers that were glow in the dark, shades of luminous green and pink. They were pasted like on a structure that would form like a frame, two of them. On the left side was an area where you could experience the artists. I'm going to explain that later on because we experienced that during the break that they'd given us. After this entrance area, you would turn left, and then there was a ramp, a long ramp. And as you walk through the ramp, on the walls, the big walls, you could see stories relating to Tusker, be it how it started, the brands that they have, the journey, the different drinks, and when they started. It was interesting, honestly, for a person who hasn't been in that space before. So after you go down the ramp is when you get to the event space where they'd set up the stage, there was the screens, there was a DJ booth. Shout out to DJ Abby who was mixing. And then now there was the sitting area. So people were not full by then. I saw a couple of faces that were familiar. Some artists, some of the people working on the sound. I think it was Elite Sounds, and some staff from EABL. It was just a mix of everyone. So I went and found somewhere to sit, and I quickly figured out that they were doing sound check for the artists who are going to perform later on, and I was like, damn, I got here too early, huh? When they were doing sound check, I would get a gist of at least who are the people who are going to be participating in this competition. It's called Biz to Billboards. After soundcheck was done, Saimo ushered in Kibunja, who was the MC of the day and the night, and he explained to us the flow of events that were going to happen from there. He called on to the artists to go and have their lunch. Sisi tukaambiwa we sit tight, listen to some good music. And then after that break, Kibunja told us that we're going to be having a panel. And then after the panel, we're going to be having the artists now performing their sets. Each artist had like 10 minutes to perform. So they were the ones who would gauge to do how many songs depending on how they had prepared. But this time, we were all asking ourselves, what is Biz to Billboards? Can somebody tell us why we are here? And that was later answered during the panel session. Together with the other panelists, walikuja kukaa sasa hii side yenye sisi tulikuwa. And then Kibunja was like, hatuwezi kuwa tumeingia kwa nyumba ya mtu na wakose kutukaribisha. She's a very African thing to say. So we had the team from Tusker speaking to us and telling us about Biz to Billboards, thanking us for being there, and all that stuff.
So Biz to Billboards powered by Tusker is what we're here to launch today. And we'll have some panelists coming up shortly who tell us more about what this new platform is. But the general ethos behind this platform is really about spotlighting, celebrating, and walking the journey with up-and-coming talent in the Kenyan music industry to see them take on their career to the next level. I think it's exciting when you see someone you know beyond your near confines, beyond, they've taken their skill, their song. It's exciting when we see our dance moves have transcended beyond the geography of Kenya. It's fulfilling. For years, it dates back to TBF, the infamous TBF has been fantastic, to Nexters, and various other campaigns that we execute across the year and for the last 103 plus years. So it's not new for Tusker to walk this journey with local Kenyan artists. We're back again. We want to do something in collaboration, not only with the artists, but with local jewels and stars who will help shape and journey this and walk this journey with the artists that have been identified.
And then later on now, Kibunja got to introduce the panel that will discuss what B2B was in depth. Kibunja asked them to dance as they headed over to stage.
So first up is a lady. She is the senior brand manager of Tusker. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Bridget. Wow. He is the head of songwriting. He's a bald man, so you know he does everything better. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Yuaya Tajiri. Billboards head of voice. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Lisa Odwor Noah. Mr. Marek, a round of applause for Mr. Marek as he makes his way on the stage.
In partnership with Ace and Tusker, 30 people were identified and chosen, and that's how we had the list of artists who were performing that day. And then from their performance and, of course, the background checks, finding out their catalogs, because we were told that there was a criteria that was used to pick these artists. They were a couple having a body of work, having at least one viral song, and many more.
Career streams somewhere in the range of 500,000 to 1 million. Performance experience, they must have been booked prior and had performance experience. Additionally, I think there was at least one hit song that was one of the criteria as well. There has to be a release, or had to be a release in the last 6 months as well. And in terms of social media and following, there was 10 to 30,000 followers across social media. So those are the main criteria. If they managed to get from that roughly 80 or so that were considered, 4 out of 6, that's who made it to the top 30, and then the program as well, and onboarding that made it to the top, roughly about 20 to 25, you'll see here today.
Now, the whole idea was through the people who've attended voting, they would get to now shortlist the top 6 from the 30 who are going to perform. The voting aspect was so cool because there was a dedicated website. They would put the QR code on the screens, then we would scan it, take us to a really nice website that would be live and was capturing the events that were happening there and then. So when an artist is performing, it tells you currently performing. And then when an artist is done performing, they give you a section where you can vote for that artist. And then they tell you the next artist who's going to come to stage. That was really cool. And the fact that the program was in sync with what was actually happening, shout out to the team at Tusker, man. So I haven't even told you who the panel was. The panel was Lisa Odwor Noah, who will also be a coach for the top 6. Yoya Tajiri, who will also be a coach. So Lisa will be the vocal coach, and then Yoya will be the songwriting coach. And then we had a representative from the Tusker brand, and then we had Marek, who was also representing Ace in this scenario. Some of the artists who were among this list of 30 artists was Manasseh Shalom for Mr. Frank White, who we have to thank for being there. Chris Barr, whose performance was ethereal. He made such a significant entrance. Genesis Jeno. Kahuti, who came with flowers. Nasibi Lafayette, who I'd heard of from the setlist. If you've listened to our episodes during the setlist KE, I'm sure you've had somebody mention Lafayette. That's how he says it. Who I'd never seen live before, but I think I'm gonna look out for Lafayette's performances because he's good. He's good, guys. He's really good. Those are some of the guys who performed at the first half, and then we were given a break where we were going to redeem our food vouchers and some of our drink vouchers as well. But I really wanted to explore the experiential booth that I told you guys was at the entrance. So sisi how tukapanda ramp. Hey, your ramp ni refu. Tukapanda ramp. And then we walked into the experiential area. They had these booths. There were about maybe 9 in the space. And they were branded, of course, with Tusker. So the idea was you would take the headphones that were placed there, put them on, and then play. So they would show you a series of artists, those 30 artists that were chosen, a short bio as the music that they've released plays while you read their bios, what they've done, who they are, some of the music that they've released. And honestly, I think that was really cool. Something to note for me was the headphones were Oraimo headphones. I've never seen Oraimo headphones. But you know, Oraimo makes everything. Juzi niliambiwa kuna hadi vacuum cleaner, wako na air fryer. Hey, Oraimo. If somebody from Oraimo is listening to this, let's work together. I am a lover of your brand. After the break, we had Hilda Watiri, we had Mali, who ended with his phenomenal whistle. Let me tell you, the most R&B thing that Mali does is that whistling on key. Like, that is wild, bro. We had Muringi, and something that was so interesting with Muringi for me, Muringi has a couple of viral songs, and a lot of the people who were coming to perform were either doing their most recognizable songs or their most viral songs or songs that people actually know. But Muringi's approach was actually very different because she explained how she's a very spiritual Kikuyu singer, and she said that she's a bridge between her ancestors and us through now the music, which was such a perfect definition, man. I'm a big fan of Muringi. So the music that she sang was very slow and, like she said, spiritual. Also, her choice of attire was so interesting. I remember being so intrigued. It was modern, very modern. And to see that blend, wow. Another artist that we saw was Zawadi, who, in my opinion, blew the crowd's minds. I'm so glad that people recognize how phenomenal she is. I did the voting site jam and people were like, Fungueni servers. That was hilarious. Rasa Moore, we had Alma, we had Apesi, we have Jofes, we had Kim Life, among so many other artists. Kama sijakutaja, just samahani, nisamehe. Because there were so many artists who are performing. I'm looking forward to see who the top 6 are going to be. Ideally, from the description that they gave us, they said they're gonna form a collective, and they gave an example of Kodong Clan, and they said that these people are gonna be trained and they're gonna learn together for the next about 6 months. And I'm guessing there's gonna be a project to that effect, just like the Timeless project with the guys from the Perform Incubator, I'm assuming. So I'm waiting to see who those are going to be, if they're going to accept the offer, and how the training is going to turn out. If there's going to be support even after the 6 months. Because, they said a big problem with these competition shows is that even if a person wins, you never really hear from them afterwards. So that was one of the issues they were trying to curb. After all the artists had performed, they said they had a surprise performance for us, and they brought out Yoya Tajiri, who performed some of his tracks, and trust Zawadi Clark and Rasamor to grab a mic and go and do background vocals for Yoya. And they sounded so good together. Tebuskiza. On the same day, Njoki Karu was performing at Kenyan Peak, and we were so worried we were going to miss the performance. We were going to meet a couple of friends there. So we were like, we might as well. Why not? So we rushed to Bia District and we caught the final few songs on Njoki Karu's set. We met Afam, who's back from New York, whoop whoop, and Sam, who are the 30% pod boys. We had quite some catching up to do, which is how we ended the night. While we were there, something exciting happened. We Don't Need Money to Be Rich, the song itself, played at Beer District. And that was crazy because that was the release week. And that is so big. It means Kenyan music to the world. There's no other way. I'm going to give you guys a bit of TMI over here. On 9th February, I personally embarked on a journey with Perform Incubator. I'm currently taking sound engineering classes. So far, they're so cool. And they're being facilitated by Geek Dynamics. That's Alex and Kibugi. These future cohorts too. So if that's something of interest to you, you can go and apply on the link that's on the Perform Incubator's bio. Also, something interesting that I found out Spotify now has listening activity outside of the DMs they just introduced. According to them, and I quote, it says, turn on listening activity. People you have chats with on Spotify can see the music you listen to and send you reactions. You can take a break by using private session. Control in detail, who can see your activity, and turn it off in settings. Honestly, if you're asking me, they're just imitating earbuds because earbuds did all this even before they discovered that was possible. I didn't turn it on. I think niko sawa na earbuds. I'm not trying to have Spotify as a social platform for me. On to the next event. On 11th February, we were invited to the Needs EP listening party by We Are Nubia. We Are Nubia are dropping their debut EP on 18th February. I'm sure by the time you're listening to this, they will have already dropped the project titled Needs. It's a 5-track project with 2 tracks already released. That's D&D and Sway. The remaining 3 are available, No Love and Forever. They said the listening party starts at 6:30 p.m. and I was there on the dot. Ilikuwa the same location na ile ya Mutoriah at the OneRPM offices. So sikuwa nataka kuhata any part of the experience. Wao wakasema psych. And ended up starting at 7:30 p.m. Oh, the offices are on the first floor of the building. So ukipanda stairs to hivi, there was a table at the corridor. There were 3 ladies who were checking if you were on the guest list. Then once confirmed, they give you a card that had the album art and a QR code to pre-save the EP. They also give you a cute key holder that had the album art as well. I'm going to read what was at the back of the card. It's a really cute card. And it had mshaino. I didn't notice the mshaino until when I brought it to the house. Anyway, at the back it says, thank you, in bold. And then it says, for being in this room with us tonight. Before the world hears it, you chose to come and hold this moment with us. And that means more than we can say. Your presence, your time, your hearts, we feel it. We're so grateful to share this first step with you. Love, We Are Nubia. And then there's like a G-clef and some other musical signs. And then there's a kiss, one of the kisses from the EP art. So between 6:30 and 7:30, people were interacting with each other and getting drinks. Shout out to Simba from Triple S Cocktails. The main room area had deco, even with the chairs draped. There was a projection of We Are Nubia at the front and 2 seats facing each other at an angle. The DJ was playing some music, some of We Are Nubia's old music, which was cool. Ivix was the host of the listening party. He later on introduced the girls at 7:35 p.m. and they did not waste time. They got right into the listening after apologizing for the delay. They would play the songs, then Ivix would facilitate uchambuzi wa nyimbo. The girls looked so lovely. They had placed a bet on which song would resonate the most with everyone. I can't wait to see which song that will be. Now, before I even go on, I want to mention how difficult it was to listen with all the noise, all the movement, all the commotion.
Guys, let's come down kidogo. Tumekuja kuwasikia. We came to listen to them, right? Sio? Mtatuambia yote ya discuss.
Not to mention that the room was full past its capacity. I have no issue with how anyone decides to do their listening party or how they decide to plan it. Najua mtaniambia kama nataka kuweka listening party nijieke listening party, which is fine. But what did we go to do there? We went to listen, you know. So please, if you ever get invites to these things, especially listening parties, angalau for a first listen, it would be nice if we did just that, if we listened. I understand the excitement, but anyway, there were a couple of times when We Are Nubia wenyewe would want to start over a track, and there were moments where they would repeat a song. It makes sense considering there were only 3 new tracks and people would stand up and dance along. They also sang along to DND because they had their mics. Another Another thing, if you get invited, please don't request them to perform their old songs if that wasn't part of their plan. Some people are requesting them to perform Aibu. First of all, hii hata si concert, man. It's a listening party. So demanding that is so wild to me. Ideally, hata, like when you come to a listening party, the artist doesn't owe you a performance of anything because you've come here to listen to a new project and give like feedback and thoughts and all that stuff. So asking somebody to perform, honestly, it's very few listening parties that the artists are usually willing to perform the music. Hakuna mtu atakwambia hizi vitu, so mnisikize nikiwaambia. Na unajua vile wasa walianza kuitisha aibu, waliambiwa waende waongeze streams as they should, you know. That was a perfect response. I know I had some people say that that was kind of like a rude response, but it's exactly that. Like, Aibu is an old track. We've come here to listen to the new music. Why are you asking for the old music, man? Not even just asking to listen to it, you're asking for it to be performed. Ata, if anything, you guys would have asked for some of the music from the EP to be performed. That would make sense because I've gone to listening parties where people give us a listen to the project and then later on they do perform the music from that same project, not the old music. Man, tunasonga mbele, haturudi nyuma, guys. Tukwe serious. I met Ran, who produced all the tracks on the EP. Wow. Big up to Ran. After listening to all of them, they replayed the people's favorites as they sang along. At 8:35 p.m., the Q&A session started. So I'll let you all listen into some of the conversations that we had.
The music business, that is, in terms of compa is a trend that is going on right now. So as you're betting your money on available, is it the influence that came with how big compa is at the 254 right now, or how are we navigating? And of course, how is it working with BND?
This song was not supposed to be compa. Ran played some, I don't know, not even the producer or Ran was playing something. And then he was playing compa. And compa was sounding nice. So I don't think we were chasing the compa trend. We were just vibing to music that means that's true to us. Yeah, we were not chasing the trend. And working with OneRPM is amazing. Why I recommend them is they have an office in Kenya. So you normally want to have a relationship with your distributor, and they are very, OneRPM are very accommodating. They are very hugging. They give ideas. This is what you can do. Come with your plan for 2026, and that's what you get for having a distribution company that's in Kenya, that has an office in Kenya. Because there are some mnaoniana kwa screen. Not at online, but you just operate it through the screen. So yeah, OneRPM is a good platform.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, everyone. I hope you're salama. My name is Waidera with Hawaii. I'm a musician. And I sing with a band called Wakakali. First, let me start with my comments. Hey, ladies, congratulations. I think it's such a solid body of work. You guys should be proud of yourselves. So to you, to Ran, to Ochiko, to Zaituni, everyone involved in this project, a very big congratulations. I love the flow of the album. What I'm explaining, it makes so much sense. Kwanza na No Love, and then to Forever, which is a forever love, so that it makes perfect sense how you've pangared it. My question would be, could you explain choice of cover art, choice of the EP name, and also kwa creative process yenyu, how did you land on these songs? Mkwamendika songs nyingi, mkachagua hizi, like how did you land on these songs to put in this EP? And congratulations again. I love the trajectory and the growth, and I'm so proud of you guys.
Thank you. You were singing their covers when you were starting, by the way.
Anyway, our project's name means
I have a need.
You have a need.
We all have a need.
So how it came about, we were writing from a point of, as human beings, we want so many things. We need very many things, and some of those things don't really work for us, yeah? And in as much as we know what we need, we have a problem expressing what we need. It makes sense, Paka? Yes. And this came from a point of love, like the topic love. So all our songs touch on a specific topic. I need to get away from you for me to have a peaceful love. No love. I need to tell you that I'm available for you so that you can love me more, yeah? So that's how the project name came about, Needs. We are really saying what we want, but putting it in a form that it's a need. If I don't say this right now, it will never come off my chest. Yeah, that's how we came about with Needs. And it's very all-rounded because we believe as human beings, love is everything that surrounds us. So we are at the middle, and then everything love has encapsulated us.
As what?
Encapsulated. Wow. Dio. Yeah. So that's how we came about with the cover art and the kisses on the side to illuminate more on that. Like we're talking about, guys. Wakili. Yeah. Kamatia kiss. Yes. So Needs in the aspect of love, and love is something that surrounds us. And if you can look at your cards closely, the cover art has the names of the different songs. There's Sway, there's Available, there's No Love, there's Forever, and there's BND. Yeah, so that was
the styling, the choice of attire, the choice of hair, and barefooted. How does it all come together into the project?
Standing on business but still grounded. Yeah, we're standing on business but we're still grounded.
But it actually fucking
Yes, this is the day after Chico was talking about. Chico and the depth, yeah? This is it.
That was the concept actually. We decided to go very formal, but instead of finishing it off with something official, why not be very bare to show how much we've stripped off ourselves in this project. But a song like No Love is very like a very serious side. I don't want you anymore. Yeah.
Okay. So now I want reflections and what's the other thing? I had done my notes. Excuse me, tafadhali. What do I want to do? I am confused, man. May I announce MC Aziza before the checkers? Aziza is my friend. So next time, meaning I identify as a girl, but no, I don't. What did I want to ask? Honest reflections on We Are Nubia as artists and people. So we made we as people party Fanyika. Now I want you guys to weigh in on what you're taking home from this, yeah? Not questions, not comments, just what you're taking home. I want I'd like Ongeza Volume to take one as someone in the industry. Alafu hizo zingine tujigawanye huko katikati.
The others. Karibia customer.
Imex. Imex, unajua kama nakuanga MC. Nitakuambush. Anyway, hi guys. Hi. Umeweza niona? Okay, so my name is Abigail Diana of Ongeza Volume, thank you. We are Nubia. Hi. Hi. Mnaka tense, but you guys were really tense in the beginning. But I'm glad we easing up to the reactions of people. I love that it's a really solid project. The question is, we are Nubia as artists, and
what are you taking home?
What am I taking home as someone in the industry? Oh, good. Okay. First of all, I thought it's very interesting that you guys chose Run from start to end. It's actually, hi Run. Nataka kilo Run, I know. Yeah. It's interesting because I feel like sonically zinaendana vizuri, like songs from start to end. I think the timing is good also for We Are Nubia as artists, because you guys blew. I don't know if you guys anticipated the going viral. Probably not. Yeah. So, did you guys anticipate? You know, when it's maswali. Sorry. Yeah. So maybe yes, maybe no. But how you guys were able to handle the pressure and all that, and now working on your project and releasing it earlier on in the year. I love that it's in February, because I love when artists release projects earlier on in the year. It's a big deal. I wish it could have been more that we haven't listened to, because it's 3 out of 5. Yeah, I wish, and I just am share schedule and all that, but I wish it could have been more new music. But I understand that they also fit together with the theme of the EP, so it kind of just makes sense. I like the art. My favorite so far, although they vary, najua unangoja.
Singoji kitu.
It's the last song. It's forever.
It's called Forever.
It's forever. But listen. The compound is gonna hit. That's for sure. The compound is gonna hit, and I feel like everybody is going to get a favorite off of this EP, and that's how you know it's a good project. If everybody just has one favorite song, then it's not that good. But if everybody can get a favorite from the project, I'm sure once you interact with everyone here, you'll find out that everyone has their own favorite song, which is good, which is a good thing. Yeah. Anyway, so congratulations on the, when is it coming out? 18 next week, yeah? Yeah, so congratulations on the project, on the release, and I really hope you guys either shoot music videos for all the songs, or najua ni pressure, but I hope you guys shoot music videos for the songs, for the mainstream guys, and I hope you guys do media tours and push this project to its, yani mkamue hii project kabisa, so that mfike pale mnataka kufika. We shall meet. Yes. Thank you.
They called Zaituni to the front to perform with the girls, DND of course. Hata hii ilikuwa imeitishwa. But you see, they did it because it's in the EP. It only makes sense. Zaituni said that she manifested this collab, and honestly, I love it for our girl. They then decided to play the visuals for the songs, but I was already so overstimulated. Imagine, kuna dem flani, alikuwa amepoteza bag yangu. I'd put it on a chair, and I just looked at something else, and when I looked back at the chair, my bag was gone, and there was a girl seated on the chair. And when I asked her, she was so mean, guys. She said she didn't know where the bag was, and I was like, bro, a bag can't vanish. Of course, you've seen where it's gone, you know. And then I decided to go and check into one of the offices at the OneRPM place. But by this time, I was so worked up. I was just like, God, why? Imagine losing my tote bag. And to make matters worse, I'd pinned, you see all these pins that we usually buy from like artists. I'd pinned so many pins on the tote bag. It's a Cardin thing. I was imagining losing the tote bag, everything inside, and the pins in a listening party. Oh God, that was the first. That was the first to ever happen. I was so frustrated. So I went and I found the bag, and I was just like, by the time they were playing these visuals, man, I was so tired. I really wasn't in the mood to see these visuals. I was just like, we've listened to the music. I think when the visuals come out, I'll watch them. That would be a better experience. So I just stood up and left the room. I stepped outside for some air. When I got outside, kumbe they'd already mounted a backdrop with the EP art with balloons on top where people could take photos. We took some photos then. We proceeded to have some lengthy conversations with different people, then shortly after left. Let me tell you, immediately the listening party was declared over. The DJ akeka Isaka. God. We're here to listen to hey, we're here to listen to Kenyan music and a Kenyan artist. Any listening party ya msanii Mkenya. Why wouldn't you play Kenyan music? Like, again, I would understand if that was part of the curation, but I am challenging that curation because why would you play something else other than Kenyan music at a Kenyan listening party? A Kenyan music listening party? Why? We will continue preaching this thing until iingie kwa skull ya DJs. We need you guys to play Kenyan music, man. Wacheni jokes. It's 2026. People are already receptive of Kenyan music. The people who came to the listening party are Kenyan music enthusiasts. So why wouldn't you not play Kenyan music, man? Surely. Tukwe tu serious kidogo. Anyway, wacha nisijam. So since you're listening to this after the EP is out, stream Needs by We Are Nubia and let us know how we're feeling about the EP. The next day, on Thursday, this was a crazy week, man. We got an invite from the great people at Belva Digital to the listening party of the soundtracks of Kito, the TV series. Kito is a Kenyan TV series that will be airing on Citizen and on the Cooperative Bank YouTube page. I'd initially noticed some releases that I'd guessed were linked to the series, and indeed, I was right. By that time, I think ilikuwa ya Charisma na ya Bensoul zilikuwa zimetoka. And I was like, yeah, there has to be an association to Kito in those songs. It's great to see that we're still big on collaborations with the film and the music industry. The tracks are 9 by Watenda Willy, Bensoul, Saru, Okelo Max, Charisma, Nikita Kering, Maureen Kunga, Trio Mio, and Wakadinali. I arrived when the panel was on, first with the Kodong Clan members who were involved in the project, and later on, we learned that they had to rush for run-through for their extravaganza that was scheduled to happen on 14th February. So they had to leave. That's why they were like the first guys to be on the panel.
I don't wanna lose you, darling. You know that your love is my salvation. I don't wanna lose you, darling. Nataka nikupende jana leo tena kesho.
With a very strong feeling right now.
Oh yes, please speak. My heart is still.
No. I mean, for this song, I'd say we had to strike a balance of, because the song is sad, it's a sad song. You are at crossroads with the person you love. At the same time, you don't have to give up on them. So I'd say how we related it to Kito's story was, I mean, Kito aliachana na manzi yake na alikuwa na love time fulani juu bro manzi yake alishutiwa na kabili. So already that's a deep thing. It's a deep thing in the film already. So we had to tackle the lost part. At the same time, Kito comes back and is like, okay, I could die. So yeah.
Okay, Max, over to you. Nimeiona is the name of the song. Talk to us about that song.
So as anyone was getting the theme, everyone was choosing the theme. I chose the homecoming theme. I understand that Kito was running away from his past because there was so much pain, but he had to come back. So to me, I actually tried to relate my homecoming as going back to facing your fears, facing the pain that you are running away from, and trying to pursue your dream, even though at first maybe you are not sure about it, because finally it shows that you overcame, right? So it was more of believing in yourself and trying to face the things that was scary to you. So yeah, so nimeiona najua mwenye nimetoka na najua mwenye.
Okay, let's do the marks. Round of applause. Any questions from the room about Nimeiona?
I love those early stages of love where you so close.
Unampenda sana. Akiwa hapo kwa hapo, ukiwa pale kwa hapo.
Yeah, like that. That's the kind of essence that I'm going for. But how I connected it to Kito was that love that you have for anything, you know, the love for football, the the love for the car that he has, the love for coming back to himself. Yeah, that's the essence that I kind of work for.
Not letting go. Is there anyone with a question? Anyone with a feeling? Right about now, hot feeling. Yes. But Natasha, if we could get somebody to help me. Is it?
Yeah.
Josh.
So for me, for everyone, so you said a feeling, huh? I know Suda for many years. I mean, I wake him up in the middle of the night to make music with me. That's how amazing he is. Wake up. And I know Charisma from, I don't even know if he remembers. He was in a group back then, and I heard his voice and I had to put him in Disconnect back in the day. The others, I love the music, and it's good that I've met you today. I just want to say, you know, I've been in the industry for long. I believe, me, I'm on the film side, and I believe this industry will never grow if we all don't work together. I have tried for many years to work with the music industry. It's always been very, very difficult. And I just want to say today, you guys, the way you approach this thing, your willingness to be available, the key word is availability, has made so much change in our industry. And I really, really thank you for that. Forget everything else. Just you guys being willing to do this, to grow another industry out of your own path. And believing that we are co-creators and we build each other. Thank you for that. Not many musicians see the way you do. From back in the day, only a few could see. And as we've gone along, maybe Akina, Sauti Soul, there are very few. And then now in this era, there are so many of you that can see. And I just want to say thank you. The music is beautiful. When it was coming to me, very rare do I not have changes.
Very rare.
The people who know me know. And not one piece of music did I go back like, So, man, amazing. Thank you.
Round of applause, everybody. Can we all agree that whole artist selection was a 10 out of 10?
The panel moderator was Muthoni from Pulse. So the next section of the panel, we had Nikita Kering and Maureen Kunga. Then the next after that, we had Saru and Triomio.
Basically, nime-acknowledge venye I'm sure sisi wote tume-struggle mpaka ndo kila mtu ako tumeketi meza zenye tumeketi sahi. Kuna kenye kila mtu amepitia. So point yangu kwa song ilikuwa kwa acknowledge kwanza the struggles zenye tumepitia. Na despite the challenges zenye tulipitia, bado tulikuwa tunajua baraka ni mingi, you know. Mungu akishaamua ameamua. Hii keki ni kubwa, so kila mtu anaweza kuja akadoea, si ndio? Keki ni bigi, so at the end of the day struggle, Kito pia ni struggle, you know. But at the end of the day, keki ni kubwa, yeye pia anapata share yake na watu wengine pia wanapata share yao. Yeah, so basically.
Wapikelele tena wewe. Mimi nimesikia hiyo part ya nilitoka FB. Sasa ina meta. Was it like a meta?
Well, FB na IG zinaoniwa na nani?
Na meta.
Yeah, so tangu nitoke FB ambia maheta na meta.
Wewe. Nikuulize mzee. When you're writing your music, you remember kwa tofauti na vile unaandika na mambo zako?
Kaida inanirudisha zone yenye sijaiguza for long kwa sababu I believe nimekuwa nikitoa more of dancehall, you know. So the minute nilisikia Kito, nikasema well, this is an opportunity ya mimi kufanya kitu yenye. Na sikuwa nimeanza kwa drill for a while, so niliamua tu acha nianguke naye. And I believe mmeipenda sana.
Imeweza. Wapi kelele ya Kuto? Wapi kelele ya ho? Tell me more about the home.
Okay, so the inspiration behind it, honestly, we go about returning back home after I survived throughout the city. After like I amepitia those challenges, struggles, amelearn lesson yake ya maisha. But then unajua mimi nilipewa the first episode. And the first episode currently ilikuwa inaongelea about grief colliding with identity. A man who was forced back into the life like yenye hapo anatarajia atarudi hapo hivyo ilikuwa past life yake, right Kito?
Kito, is that true? Yes.
Then that time it's come on our visual. I had no idea of how it works. Like really go back to the themes and your peruse, like just trying to understand the character himself first before writing anything. Hata nilipitia episode zingine, episode 2, episode 3, episode 4, like trying to understand where this character coming from, where is he going, so that they come up in a line. Remember when I was telling you I was imagining Kito arriving in Nairobi, current silence. Domingia Nairobi. Then I call like anatafuta fresh start. In which, thank you guys manze kunipatia episode 1. Ni kitu related na mimi na most of my friends. The same way the other people on stage wakisema that it's something which we were talking about.
Wakadinali wa Anosho. For all panels, we got to listen to the music, and then the artists will then share the information on how they came up with the concept of the music and how the music they created correlates to the Kito TV series.
Elami, and now it is Maureen Kunga.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's it feeling right now? What is
It's beautiful. I think so. My first single came out in September, and actually, as I was coming here, I was doing that math. I'm like, it's month 4, and look at the rooms God has put me in, you know. And I'm like, okay, you're on the right path. And I think some of those spaces, you know, and I can't take it for granted that. I mean, I could have come back and people just really could not have cared. You know, it's an option. So for it to work out and for us to get to spaces like this and to be in rooms like this and have conversations like this makes me realize I'm really doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah.
Plus, we missed you, man.
Thank you.
Like, what? But now you're back. Maureen Kunga. We absolutely love your music. As Kenyans, manze, tunakupenda wewe.
I receive it.
Because I saw you on the beach.
Yes.
You were there, you were performing.
Yes. Yeah. And again, it's such an honor to be in these spaces so early into what is this now new solo path. So it's wonderful. It's a really nice experience to have and to know that even after a break you can come back and people still love you, people are still interested. It's very cool. I'm like, okay, sawa. Yeah.
It's just a song about anytime you need me, I'll be one call away. For you, hit me on the line, I'll be on time. Yeah. So it's the theme that I was working with was vulnerability and warmth and love. And when I was working with the songwriters, we were just like, I guess it's just telling somebody that whatever they're going through, especially because when we were writing it, the intention was about mental health and blah, blah, blah. So it was like, yeah, whatever you seem to be going through, anytime you need me, I'll be one call away. Because we were just thinking that sometimes when you're seriously low, you have friends, but it's like you don't have the friends. You go to your call log and you're like, who can I actually go to for this matter? Or for this struggle, and sometimes it seems scarce, the people are scarce, so yeah, it's just, when you need me, I'll be there for you, yeah.
In composing your songs, how is it a thing in differentiating for such a project with the normal TV and radio projects? You get my question? Yeah, like, is it different? And with that, how is it to balance the director's vision with your creativity freedom? Am I making sense? Yeah, please.
Would you like to go ahead?
So, specifically for Kito, let me speak specifically for Kito. I really actually want to say thank you to Tosh. He's mentioned in passing how he didn't give notes after, right? But that's because also we were given such creative freedom. you're given an idea, a tool, just run. Make the music how you would make it if you were making it for yourself, which was really great, and such a wonderful brief, and which is why people were able to turn over music so quickly, because then we weren't compressed into this box. So I really thank you guys. I thank Tosh, I thank Belva, I thank Co-op for giving us the opportunity to make the music how we really genuinely wanted to, right? And then have that work for the project. But yeah, sometimes for client work, it depends on what the brief is. And yeah, you have to sit down and be a little more, sometimes it takes a little more time when you're working with somebody else and someone has an expectation of what it is that, and you go back and forth. Sometimes we question ourselves a lot. When it's your own project, when I like it, I'm done. But now sometimes when I like it, I give it to you, and you're like, I hope of us too, it's like you've not, or like I just don't like it, or it's stuck over. So it can be a little longer, it can be a little more daunting when you're doing it for somebody else. But in general, honestly, on this project, it was great. There was such an it was just open. We were just running through a pool of creativity to just do whatever we wanted. So truly, you guys, I appreciate you for that.
So I think for me, the experience was it was a big difference, because I rarely do movies, I rarely do series. For me, my music when I'm writing, it's a very personal process, just me in my bedroom alone writing everything. But because for this one there was an objective and there was a certain creative direction that we were given, I worked with Mbithi and a guy called Nasibi to be able to translate what is in the film into the music. It's something that sounded a little bit more soundtracky, I guess. Yeah. So for me, it was more about submission to the process and being like, okay, I'm not so good at this. Let's see how we can work together to make something that's a bit more suitable. Yeah.
And well done.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done to the both of you. Ongeza volume. Una mic. Unaweza patia ongeza volume. Anaitwa hivyo guys.
I can talk. Ama niongee.
Sorry guys, I'm all confused. My name is Abigail Diana and I have a platform that goes by the name Ongeza Volume. That's what she's saying, Ongeza Volume. The question is asked was related to what I wanted to actually ask both of them, and it's been answered. I just want to shout out the producers that did the tracks for you guys. It sounds so good. I don't know who produced yours, Maurice.
So M3 or Boba did the production, and then it was mixed and mastered by Mutoriah.
Oh, perfect. And then yours, So Fresh, of course.
Yeah, it's fresh. She did everything.
You and So Fresh combined are just a powerhouse, and it's so fun. Oh, you guys are so fresh. Yeah. So anyway, everything else was answered. I wanted to find out the songwriters. You said it's Mbithi and Nasibi.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to see how Mbithi is a rapper.
Yeah.
And
Mbithi is so talented. Oh my goodness, he can write anything. Yeah. He's a rapper. You'd be so surprised. A lot of these rappers,
they're cool
songwriters. Singers, because maybe they know they will not be able to sing it in that way. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's just that.
Something cool that happened when Nikita Kering and Maureen Kunga were on stage, they both sang Kuku by Elani, and they sounded so good together. We hope they're going to get to work on something together soon. On the same day, the Babas were performing at Geco. So I checked the time and I was like, haijafika 9. I had to leave. I went to Geco and walikuwa wamejaza venue. Wow, the Babas. We're looking forward to you guys releasing music soon. I found the last parts of the performance where they had invited Mutoriah to perform. They did Kavinya that just dropped on We Don't Need Money to Be Rich. They performed December, which is a hit song. And they performed an unreleased track. Like I always tell you guys, like I always sing, utamu wa live shows ni nini, utamu wa live shows ni unreleased. When they were saying the title of the song, they said "Allo," and I thought they were like vibes, like "Allo," like yeah. Kumbe "Allo" is the name of the song. I found that to be very hilarious. If you're hearing about the Babas for the first time, they are a 3-man boy group comprised of Baraza, Mathainjama, and Rasamor, who are individual artists as well. The band members, we had Marcos Musalanu, who was on keys, we had Filippo Dupa on drums, we had Victor Tugi on the bass, we had Ice on the lead guitar. When they came to perform the songs with Mutoriah, they asked Kimba Sax from Hornsphere to join them on stage. There was a solo that Kimba Sax did on the unreleased track. Oh my god. And I'm assuming that's a Hornsphere solo in the song. Guys, mrelease your ngoma bana. And because time is of the essence, I also had to go to BND. This same night. I can explain, guys. I can explain. I had to rush for the BND Live Sessions, where Charisma would be performing later on in the night. Same night. Let me tell you, Mina, after the day I'd had, I just wanted to go home and sleep. But I can't afford to miss a BND live session. Imagine, Charisma started performing at 1:36 a.m. Yo. And the crazy thing was, every time I would tell people that Charisma is going to be performing way later on in the night due to unavoidable circumstances, nobody seemed bothered about it. Everyone was just like, yeah, it's fine. We're going to wait. You guys are so understanding. I can't thank you guys enough, man, for the community members who came out. But me, I was just like, oh, God. Oh, vile napenda usingizi. Anyway, as soon as Charisma came on stage, hata sijui nguvu ilitoka wapi, wacha vile nina complain hapa. I was at the front recording and singing along. He was performing with Gavi on the keys and the tracks. He started easy with True Love and Number One. Quite incredible that they had all that energy considering everything yenye walikuwa wametoka kufanya, sijui run through, walikuwa wameenda show ya Bensoluko Alchemist. So I was just like, hey, these people, where do they get the energy from? I need what they're using. Riz called Keithan to stage and other artists who were in the building. Aliwa shout out, alisema Mutoriah, alisema Watenda Willy, na alisema Bensol. I'm sure there were many other artists that night. He even invited Keithan to come on stage and he performed Niangalie. He called out Watenda Willy and Suda, and that's how the night escalated, bro. They did Urao, stage ya mwisho, where Mutoriah joined Gavi on keys. And fascinatingly enough, this happened back in 2023, same location, during an Irish performance. Which, guess what? I also reviewed on here on the podcast. That was so nostalgic. And then I used it when Arsenal lost. And true to it, aliisha kwa stage. Charisma alikuwa anacheka huko nyuma. He laughed his ass off. These boys just be having fun, man. They did an acoustic ya Nyaduse, which always slaps when they do a cappella. Lakini sitaki kuwekea audio juu. Zile nduru zenye watu walikuwa napiga huko mbele, wacha tu. People had so much fun. Of course, they ended the night with disco and Sinanoma at like 2:30 a.m. Where? Let me tell you, I didn't leave the house for the next 3 days. But now, I am recharged. So please, do invite me everywhere and anywhere you want us. As Ongeza Volume to cover. Kama umefika huku mwisho, as always, when will I say? And we love you so much for being part of the Ongeza Volume community. As I've mentioned in the previous episodes, Ongeza Volume is open to collaborations. If you're looking for a host for your events. If you're looking for a digital marketing partner, if you're looking for a curator for events, we are here.